Welcome back, everyone, to our Groundskeeper Chat series. I am your host, Meg Kruger, joined by Mr. Christopher Bell.
Your co-host.
My co-host.
Christopher Bell. Or just Chris. Some people call me Chris.
We'll see how this episode goes.
What are you saying?
We'll see.
Oh, boy.
Today, we are joining you. We are back at HQ in Cleveland, Ohio. And we're going to be recapping 2025 Palm Springs SFMA conference.
That's right.
And we just had a team meeting where you were not nice to me for a single minute of it. And you said you have a lot of pent-up aggression that you would maybe like to take care of about our how our podcasting went down in Palm Springs.
Meg, thanks for airing dirty laundry to the rest of the world.
I don't know what you expected to happen.
I thought maybe it'd be a little more professional. We could have a one-on-one. But I don't have any pent-up aggression. Why do you make up things about me? Just because you tried to replace me like 9 times while we're in Palm Springs, which I get.
Well, you made me pay for it. You would like be in my peripheral vision eating whatever food was available at that time.
Well, when you started ignoring me, I just got up and went ate and I knew you were hungry.
Made yourself sick.
I did eat too much trying to prove a point to you that I was able to eat and you weren't. I did feel gross for about 3 days.
Well, yeah, that's what SFMA will do to you.
All those pizza bites added up after a while.
I literally didn't have a single bite of any of the food available.
Well, I tried everything. And it's surprisingly, I say surprisingly because it was on a trade show floor and you expect mass-produced food to be terrible. Actually, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I had some trade show food in Denver and it was like one of the best tacos I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it was so good.
I don't remember that.
Well, that was
you were not with
you weren't there.
Pioneer, was it?
No, it was it was with Pioneer, but it was when I was with Daniel Pierre.
Oh, it was not the SFMA, it was Rocky Mountain.
Yes,
SFMA,
correct.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
They provided good food. But from what I'm hearing, it sounds like one of us was working and one of us was sampling the entrees.
Well, I was more the prep crew, setting up the whole booth with our friend Jonathan and some other people, packing it up, setting up the podcast equipment, sound checking. Yeah. So sure, one of us was working and one showed up as now known as the talent. Yes, Meg is the talent, everybody. We are just her minions.
Entourage.
Which we kind of knew before this, but you just kind of solidified it. And then you owned the title.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's great. It's super fitting. Like content marketing lead, that comes with a lot of like expectations, like deliverables, timelines. I'm done with that.
Just with the talent, we just expect you do whatever the heck you want.
Just greatness, yes.
Oh, just greatness. Okay, wow, you're really pushing us. Okay. Well, yeah. All right. Let's get back to our recap. Other than
Well, I would say overall it was very successful. We recorded 14 episodes.
Wow.
Yes, it was a lot of talking. I think by the end of the show, I'm surprised I still had a voice. Last year I did. Sorry, I'm yawning.
That's very Really, you're really yawning into the mic right now.
It came.
This is why we're never going to win a podcast award.
I could not prevent it from happening.
Oh my Lord! Because we know we're not going to edit anything. That's the problem. Like pros edit that stuff out. We're like, it's just play. Yeah, it's more real.
It's authentic.
Yeah, it's authentic. That's the word I'm looking for.
It's a Wednesday. It's hump day. Like we are all just trying to get through.
Today Wednesday?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
It is.
That's a bummer all day. I thought it was Thursday.
I was in last week on Thursday, so maybe you had.
Yes, you graced us with your presence.
Yes. I don't remember where I was before I yawned, but 14 episodes.
14. Yep.
This will be our 15th and it's going to be released first as a little recap, but also just to let people know what's coming down the line. We're going to typically we post like, in a 1 episode a week cadence, but we're going to be doing 2 episodes a week just to get these out on a favorable timeline.
Yeah, otherwise we'd be putting these out until July.
Yeah, I think it was like it took us all the way through June if I did once a week.
Which would definitely seem off because we're talking January.
Exactly.
In July.
So yeah, the first we touched down Tuesday. Well, you touched down Monday. You got the booth all set up.
That's right. We're the workers.
Yeah. I arrived on the scene. The stage was set on Tuesday.
Not by your choice, though.
No. It was delayed flights that ended up being canceled flights. And I was happy that I got to sleep in my own bed that night instead of, I know like when I landed in Palm Springs, there were a few people wearing Ohio State gear. And I asked them like if they were on the 5 a.m. flight out of Cleveland. And they're like, no, we stayed at the airport. They were there for like 7 hours, got on the 10 p.m. because it eventually did leave. And it left at 10 p.m. And then they were stranded at the Dallas airport because by the time you got in, it was like 1 a.m. Dallas time. And they're like, we weren't going to get an airport, like a hotel at that point.
Shut down, yeah.
So, yeah, they slept in the Dallas airport. So luckily, I had a 25-hour day, but I did get to sleep in my bed the night before.
Sleeping in the airport does sound appealing, though. Let me tell you.
No, not that airport. It's so like busy. No, thank you.
Okay, I was afraid where you were going to go with ridiculing that airport. And I'm like, great. Can't wait to get the feedback on this one.
No, that's a fine airport. I don't like I hate getting on like a train and a plane and, an automobile just to get where you're trying to go.
I actually find that exciting at airports.
No, I hate the train. Oh,
the Atlanta airport? I love that. I love the train.
I hate the Atlanta airport.
Dallas's airport. I like that train. It's kind of elevated and goes into like a circle around the whole place.
Yeah, but I feel whatever. They did have a nice Mexican restaurant that I went to at like
for breakfast.
Yeah, like 8 a.m. and I ordered chicken tortilla soup.
That's disgusting. For breakfast.
I can eat soup any time of day. Truly,
that's true.
So yeah, then we took off we landed on Tuesday, and then show started on Wednesday.
Let's stop there for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the airport, Palm Springs.
Oh, yes. Anybody who was at the show, it was very unique.
Absolutely unique.
I would love to go back there with my family sometime.
Just to show them the airport?
Yeah. They had like the little jungle. We've always said that, like that could be an entire business endeavor, setting up like place type situations in an airport.
They have those. You ever been to Orlando's airport?
No, I have. Maybe I have been. I have been to Orlando.
Great playrooms in there. I only know because my kids were young at one point when we were there, and that was the way to keep them entertained.
Yeah, I think that's just like a golden idea. And they had that at Palm Springs. But then when I had to catch my flight going out of Palm Springs, I was there at like 4 a.m.
Yep.
And it still is like the open air, and it was cold and
so
dark.
Because when we got off the plane, I know it was just off the steps, not a jetway, came down. I forgot that we walked through a portion like a terminal building, kind of.
Okay, yeah.
Before, and we went back outside to walk the baggage claim.
You got out on the ground. Like,
yeah.
You didn't.
Okay. Did you have a jetway?
I did have a jetway. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I get for paying for basic economy, I guess. Which there's a lot of stories behind that one. I was TSA for the men's room for most flights, nice. Or air marshal. But I forgot that we came into a building. So when we got there, I got there like. I took the shuttle at 3:30 in the morning, so maybe 3:45.
Yeah.
I didn't remember there's a building. I'm like, are you kidding me? I have to sit outside in this cold for an hour to wait for my flight.
Well, yeah. Well, the building was still not really a building. It was like.
Yeah, it was like a bus stop.
Yeah, a bus stop. That's a great way. Yeah, like a Greyhound station. So it was definitely interesting.
But it was heated.
Yeah, it was heated.
It wasn't uncomfortable.
Lots of birds, though, flying around. And
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
It was dark out. How'd you know that?
Tons of birds. But, because they had lights on.
Oh, yeah.
Like birds inside the airport.
In the air? I didn't see that.
Yes,
no.
yes.
I was too tired.
So, yeah, the Palm Springs airport was definitely unique. The city itself, though, perfect, like, clean. You didn't like it?
No, my stomach was growling. So I was like, oh, no.
Jeez. Every time you do anything, even at the show, anytime you would, like, move or, like, make a face, I'd completely, what's going on over there? And I just did the same thing.
I'm just in my own world.
Truly.
No one usually watches, so.
Yeah, no, you're under a microscope in here. But no, I thought the town was great. I thought the conference, as usual, was wonderful. Yeah. I did a talk when I got into town. And I think one of the points for my talk was that when you have conflict with somebody, you should sit side by side with them.
As we are now.
So that you don't have to look them in the eye.
I will say, and I'll say this for the whole world, it's on recording. I thought you did a fantastic job. I really enjoyed it. And you didn't give me a preview this year. Like sometimes you like to do a dry run, kind of practice things.
Well, now you know why I didn't give you a preview.
Because you knew I'd critique it? Is that why?
Well, no, because I harassed you the entire talk.
Oh,
you were one of my main talking points.
But I thought... I was a minor player in your ridicule.
Yes.
But
yes.
I thought it was really well done. You did a nice job. And you kind of touched on some of your themes. I've seen you do in other presentations. So you're kind of building that storyline. It was cool. You're doing a great job.
Well, yeah, I wonder what if I apply for another one. I wonder what I'll do because I mean I can't talk about pesticides or like best practices when it comes to painting. So I've got to really perfect my branding.
We can get you out there in the field, and you can spend a few years working applying
Sure.
pesticides.
I would love to spend a day in the life with James Clavity. I've been asking for that. I can't even pin him down to do a podcast episode.
We know there's a reason he ignores you, but we just don't know what that reason is yet.
True. I have a pretty good idea what the reason is. He was when I first started here, he was like my lifeline to
the industry,
to everything.
Yeah.
He put me in contact with everybody. And once I got my own, bearings, I think he was like, thank God.
Maybe he feels left out because you don't need him as much anymore.
Maybe he's gone through the whole circle of what you have just started to experience.
Grief?
Yes. What is it? The 7 stages of grief where he, had to accept that I didn't need him any longer. Then he was angry. Then he was somber about it.
I don't think James gets angry.
Now he's just accepting it. And yeah, poor guy.
He's going to hear this and sue us.
You'll get there eventually. You're still in the anger stage.
All right. Anger stage it is.
But I think that, we kicked off the show on Wednesday, with Andy Hubbard. It was his second time back helping us kick off the show.
Yeah.
Lots of energy, a lot of chaotic energy.
As always.
And it only adds to like when we open the doors 10 minutes in and people, I think Jonathan was describing it like a Black Friday scene where like people come to our booth and are just grabbing things, acting like these t-shirts are, the hot new item. And
well, they are a wonderful cotton blend, so I understand why they want them.
They've been the same thing for like the last 7 years.
Well, they're good looking shirts.
They are nice shirts.
Well, the hats, the bucket hats, those are popular.
Those really went.
No one was shy to come up to the podcast table and just rip them from our claws. It was great.
Well, I will say our audio, when I listened back to that episode, you couldn't hear like people grabbing at us, but they were like literally right there.
But everybody smiled, so it was so worth it.
Yeah, it was fun. So we had Andy on. We talked a little bit. We tried to pin him down to give us the story behind his acronym that he uses. And I don't know if you listened back, but he never did.
No, I don't know if it's dirty or something. Or
he was
explicit,
like, we can't talk
I guess
about
is the
that.
word.
But
dirty would be wrong. Explicit.
Yes. So it went all over the place. But then at the end of his episode, if you make it about 20 minutes in, you'll hear Mike Kuhn join us. And he's got a future in sports broadcasting. He's,
how do I say this? He's got a face for TV.
Yes.
And a voice.
Very, very handsome is what you're looking for.
Is that what I'm looking for? You're a handsome devil, dude.
And when he put the headset on and his voice was, it pairs perfectly.
Yeah.
He could definitely be a sports broadcaster one day.
He looks like it, doesn't he?
Yeah. And they talked a little bit about, just Arizona and the elements that they're up against, but also the cool, groundskeeping culture that is created out there. And Mike works with Josh Lenz and Mike Klakalak, and also Leo Withrow.
That's right. It's a good, all around good crew around there. Good vibe I get from them.
Definitely.
I've never spent a day in their job with them, but I get that vibe that they're good.
Well, I have. You know it.
I know you have. I was kind of giving you that opportunity to brag.
And I did spend a lot of time with them in Palm Springs. And yeah, my husband, like when he goes on work trips, he is the first one back to the hotel room, like doesn't want, all the extra things. And I was out till the wee hours of the night, just savoring all the time with.
I balanced it out by going to bed early.
Yep.
So I'm the guy.
I think I averaged like 3 hours of sleep every night.
Oh, that's
terrible. It was rough.
I kind of did too, because I woke up naturally like at 2 a.m. every day because of the time change.
Yeah. So we were on our last leg, but we made it through. And I think if you go and listen to all the episodes that will drop here in the next 2 months, you'll see that, we got a lot of great content from it, had a lot of great guests. After Andy and Mike, we had Leah Withrow join us.
Always a good have on the show.
She really just carries it herself. We could have just turned on the mics and let her take it away.
Yeah, she's impressive.
So we just talked a little bit about her big move from the Reno Aces, and now she's with the ASU crew. And when I was with her, off show hours, she probably got asked that question 1,000 times. So we should have been prepared, and we should have recorded that episode before.
She was asked how the new job is?
Yes. How did the big move go? How are you liking the new job? Like, everyone was invested in hearing that answer. So we should have helped her out and recorded that episode before. But now, after she's probably explained it 300 times, people could listen to how wonderful the move has been for her. And then we had Tyler Carr on. He was that would be our third episode. And I think I listened back to that one and I said, now would probably be an appropriate time to introduce my co-host who's been here for 3 episodes.
Shortly after that, you kicked me out.
Yes. Right. I think on the next, no, you were on for 3 more after that.
Okay.
So, and then you were welcomed back.
Kind of.
Welcome
is not the word I'd go with.
I don't even know if you were kicked out at any point. Were you kicked out during
Yes.
Ryan DeMay?
I got kicked out at one point because he said, I've invited more people than we have headphones, so you have to leave, Chris.
Which episode was it?
I don't know. I can see it, but I was so scarred, I can't remember who it was. I can't wait to listen to their episode because I didn't get to hear a word. So,
maybe it was the Rush Hour. Because I had Pete Tebow as my co-host, and then I had the father and son duo.
Yeah.
It might have been that. But then on the next day, I really did just give you the boot.
You just said, I'm done with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
See ya.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Tyler Carr on. He is an extension specialist, I think they call it, turfgrass extension specialist with the Ohio State University. So we talked a little bit about that, but I think we also pinned down a time for him to maybe come to Cleveland and record a longer form episode because I really enjoyed talking with him. And then on our 4th episode, we introduced my lovely co-host, Tyler Morris, with MetLife Stadium. And he did a phenomenal job.
Okay.
Here's where you can, this is now,
I will
the floor
say
is
this.
yours to air your.
This is going to surprise, you're surprised that I'm going to say this, but I thought he actually did a really nice job. And it was fun to hear him because he's also a fan of the show. So it was cool that you involved him, and he did a really nice job. So if you need to replace me, I totally understand it. He does good work.
He's welcome back anytime. Truly, I had a really nice time doing it with him because at that point in the show too, it was like, I've done all my research on these people and I have an outline in my head, but he would bring it back to the pillars of the show. Like he would, ask the questions that we always ask in Groundskeeper Chat, what are the things you're listening to, or hobbies that you have outside of the job, or what do you like to do, besides groundskeeping? So as a fan of the show, he brought it back to that and kept some, pillars of.
Are you trying to give me notes right now?
Yeah.
How I should act? Okay.
One thing he did was, engage and ask questions, which is
you never gave me clearance for that, if you recall. You said, just sit there and be quiet. Those were my specific instructions.
That is not.
That's exactly what you said.
Not true.
And I was like, wait a minute, who's the boss here? But then I went with it.
Oh, jeez. But no, I think maybe you, Tyler, and I will have to sit down and.
Yeah. Now, when Tyler's listening to this episode right now, I want him to know the only reason you were being nice to him is because you're angling for tickets to something. I guarantee it. It's going to be Noah Khan.
Well, he's got the World Cup.
You don't care about the World Cup.
I don't have a personal stake in it, but it would break my coworker Jonathan's heart into 1,000 pieces if I sent him a photo from a sideline
at the
World Cup and
he
is just back here working on stencils or something.
All I know is if Noah Khan plays MetLife, I know who's calling whom at that point. And I'm Tyler, send me your contact info so I can give you a heads up to block her. Okay? All right.
I've already got his number in my phone. So
get a new number, send it to me.
I'm one step ahead of you. And I think through our co-hosting opportunity, we've just cemented our relationship further. We found more interests that we have. And then also it was revealed that I probably would, love his girlfriend as well.
Oh, yeah?
Because she's into books.
I might have been sleeping during that portion.
Yeah. Well, he's talked a little bit about the Fourth Wing series, which is a dragon
this
fantasy.
Is a book?
Yes.
I'm so not hip.
Don't read it. It's
vampires?
It's about dragons and magic power wielding.
So it's fantasy?
Yes, it's
I've
fantasy.
never liked fantasy. Even movies.
But it's romantasy is what the genre is
That
called.
sounds even worse to me.
Yep.
And it's not that I'm shaming anybody who likes that. It's just not my thing.
But he said his girlfriend is really into it. And,
that's cool.
So I think I've cemented myself in that friendship if I can definitely, get to her. You
have a knack for doing that.
I do.
It's pretty interesting.
I do. But like I said, Tyler's welcome back anytime. He helped co-host the next episode, which was with CJ Buck.
Mm-hmm. I was there for that.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. See, you were still, I don't think you were kicked off on the first day until the last episode.
I don't know.
We'll find out. We'll keep going. But CJ is now with Harrell's.
Yes.
But we talked a little bit about his time in the industry, and he just was name dropping all over the place. I didn't realize that he has worked or been mentored by so many of the greats in our industry. So I really enjoyed hearing his story and how he has, crossed over to the other side and kind of navigated a new role on the vendor side of the industry.
A new role as a dad as a baby girl.
Yes. Yep. And that was really the catalyst for the move for him, was the birth of his child and wanting to, maybe switch things up and be there.
Sure.
And then right on theme, we had the Dream Job Quitters, and you were there for that episode. For that.
Yep.
That was Ryan DeMay and Stephen Lord.
Those guys are funny.
They're hysterical. And I was listening back to that episode yesterday, and they 100% had you thinking by the end of that episode that maybe you should quit your job.
Me?
You were staring at them with you were just in awe of what they were saying.
These guys are on to something.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I need to have confidence in my skill set.
I'm finally going to open my coffee shop out in Wyoming.
Exactly. I mean, but I think, that title is definitely to bring people in. But it didn't have any negative connotation.
No, not at all.
It was just really about, seeing all the skill sets that you have as a groundskeeper and, being creative in where you can apply those. You don't have to stay in a job that you're unhappy in. And you can really find a place in the industry wherever, you may flourish.
It was good stuff.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll have those two on anytime. Ryan DeMay, he can take a snippet of a thought and make it into this beautiful, picture. And then I really loved hearing Steven's, the thought process that he went through there, because I think, as I mentioned in the episode, he was one of our pioneers in the field. And then 6 months later,
that's right.
He was announcing that he was leaving the Reds. And so for me, it was I didn't get that background knowledge. And I, had always pictured him as this leader he was creating a mafia of his own in a way. But to kind of hear his thought process and the decisions that he made in order to, be a dream job quitter was very interesting.
So after he spoke with you, he said, "Oh, forget this. I'm out."
Well, I think for a while we were people that are in the pioneers in the field, then they quickly switch over and become pioneer employees. But maybe it's just that
they quit.
They quit altogether.
They realize I've done so much. What's left?
Yeah, I've gotten this honor. Meg has taken interest in me. There's nothing.
I need to hide from this lady.
There's nothing left to aspire to. So yeah, we need to be careful with our campaign. Make sure everyone stays in.
Or we target people we don't like.
True, that's an idea.
Yeah, that's.
Please
no, I'm kidding. Anybody listening?
Last 6 years, no. But no, that's an idea. I like it. We got to get creative because it's going to be in its 6th year. Or
that's
maybe
crazy.
7.
That's crazy. That was your pitch during your second interview here.
Yep. So we're going to take it, and it's going to be bigger and better this year. And Ryan DeMay is one of our pioneers in the field this year,
is he?
2025. So I'll be paying him a visit down in Columbus and, do a full profile on him. And I'm excited to really launch that campaign, the 2.0 version of it this year.
That'll be a good day for you.
It will be. I agree. Next up was one of my favorite industry duos, Ben Hartman and Jacob Scales.
I was there for that.
Yep. I always butcher this name. Wichita?
Wichita?
Hell yeah. Wichita Wind Surge. And we got to hear all about, their mentorship blueprint of sorts. And I didn't realize that Ben, when he was hired, he was the first groundskeeper hired for that stadium.
Oh, okay.
So it must have been a new stadium. And he said like he had no business as a 24-year-old, being the head groundskeeper, but what he's accomplished and created with his crew is definitely admirable. And Jacob was on his crew when he was 16 years old.
Right.
And just in the 4 years since, his entry to the industry, all he's accomplished and done.
And didn't you used to stalk his social media when he was a minor?
Yes. No, I think he was over 18 at that point.
I need to get confirmation.
But I've always been a huge fan of what both of them do on social media and the visibility they create for our industry. And Jacob has continued to do that with, making sure everyone, he, treats his profile very much like a living, breathing portfolio. Yeah. So I had a really nice time catching up with them. And then Chris got the boot. I had welcomed too many people on.
By design.
By design, yes. We didn't have enough headphones, so Chris got the boot for the last episode,
which was okay because there was food available.
Yes, at that point you were able to taunt. And at that, like on that night, I don't think that day was rough. I will say, Palm Springs. I wish I could have enjoyed some of the food available
in the conference hall or just in general.
Anywhere. Like okay. I feel like I didn't get to eat that entire week. I got a breakfast burrito one morning, but like
at that coffee, it's called coffee with a K, right?
Coffee. And the tacos I had at the end of the trade show, but really like the food I did not enjoy, especially at the banquet. There was a meal so terrible.
You're going to
I'll just keep it at that, just in case anyone listening was
I will
responsible
keep it at that. I have heard the
decision.
same review from every attendee that I've spoken with. I'm glad I was in my hotel room trying to get some sleep before my flight.
So I will say that is one way that Palm Springs failed me, was the food was not, I didn't find anything.
What did a deli twice close to the Hilton?
Okay, I did have a nice Reuben at a deli.
I was there with you.
Yes. And my dad's number one rule in life is don't eat anything larger than your head. It's only, that
would be a lot of food.
Yeah. Well, those sandwiches were bigger than my head. Like, so it's a non-starter for me when they come out in that panini style.
It's huge.
But no, that was an okay meal. And then we had good tacos on the last day.
You did?
I had tacos at that. Oh, you only were drinking because it was the end of the trade show and you just let loose. 7 drinks later, we had to drag you back.
I drank my dinner. 7 drinks. I had 1 margarita. Get out of here. Geez. And then I got brain freeze, so I was out.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, you did. I was surprised. They brought out one on the rocks and one frozen, and you took the frozen.
I didn't know I had an option.
Okay.
If you remember, you asked what I wanted because you had to go inside to order.
Yes.
And I said, I'll have this. So if I had known, I would have gotten on the rocks.
Well, here's the thing. I ordered the on the rocks version for you. But when they brought it to the table, you took the frozen one. That's the one I ordered for myself.
We got the same drink?
Yes.
Why didn't you tell me?
Because I literally even clarified. I was like, do you want this on the rocks one? And you're like, no, I'm okay. You must have thought that it was like a different drink.
I probably did. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally
like I said, we were running off 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went and ordered, because I like a frozen one.
I don't care either way, but I prefer on the rocks.
Yeah, well, I assumed that you're a real manly drinker, and they brought out a pink frozen margarita.
Well, if it has an umbrella in it,
that's got my name on it.
Absolutely, umbrella and pink. That's my thing.
So yes, well, I will say the on the rocks version was delightful as well.
Then we went to Starbucks.
Then we went to Starbucks.
I think I got a pinkety drinkety when I was there.
Jeez,
Starbucks with the girls.
Right in with this. Yes, you did get a pinkety drinkety. I had to get some caffeine because I knew it was going to be a long night. Because I did go to the banquet, which the folks who were recognized, I like growing up. I used to love watching award shows because I love the impromptu speeches people have, like when you can tell they had no idea that they were going to win and they have to, get up there and they're all scatterbrained. And those are always the best speeches. And at SFMA, like they never know that they're going to win. Like they are not given a heads up at all. So people come up and are just like so touched.
Truly surprised.
Yeah, truly surprised. And it's really sweet. And then the next year they get to introduce the new winner.
That's right. Yeah.
So they get an opportunity to like give a more thought out speech of sorts.
Oh, I didn't realize. I've only been to the awards once.
Yeah.
Been to like 16 SFMAs. I've gone to the awards once.
Yeah, I like it. It's a nice like blueprint where like they have like an entire year to reflect on the honor and then
That's nice.
give a nice speech, and then they kind of segue into giving the next award. So Paula Sleifert was one of the award winners.
Oh, that's great. I love Paula.
I love Paula too. Nick McKenna was another one.
That's another great one.
He won. I think he won the Golden Rake, which is like in service to the industry. Well, in reality, all of them are because people have gone above and beyond for the industry. What was that? A cart?
Yeah, it's a cart going by my office.
Wonderful. So yeah, I love the award show, but if they need somebody who wants to like vet the catering company before next year's awards show, like just let me know.
I think you've unofficially offered to do a lot of things. Now
MC the entire event.
You've offered to be the keynote address for the entire conference. You've offered to be the taste tester now.
Yes, for the catering company.
You offered to be the MC as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever they need. Oh, I'm going to have to tell you the other job I'm volunteering myself for offline because I don't want to put anyone on blast, but there's a definite need for something else. Yeah.
Coordinator of Pioneers packing and traveling.
That one I'm not like really itching to sign up for. No.
Yeah, I know.
So we ended day one of the show with Rush Hour with Pete Tebow. And we love Pete. He's one of the first people James Slavity ever introduced me to.
Yes.
So he's always been a great advocate for whatever we've got going on. So I dragged him into co-hosting the Rush Hour with me, which is essentially just we pack as many Groundskeeper Chats into like 1 hour. So we had Crystal Rose Frichter with Pure Seeds stop by.
Okay.
And, the entire time she was talking, all I'm thinking about are her two gorgeous grandchildren that she showed me earlier in the day.
Yeah.
But we talked about
redheads,
seeds.
Right?
Yes, redheads. Talked about seeds and just how, everything starts there. And also talked just about the nature of Pure Seed, how it's like a, 3-generation family company.
Yeah, that was interesting. That's something I learned. I can't speak.
No worries.
Something new
We'll
I learned
this
year.
Try.
I didn't realize that about Pure Seeds. So yeah, another try. Rewind. But it was interesting. It was a lot of family-owned companies in this industry. It was cool to hear about that one. How she grew up, her dad's company.
Yeah, and she went into accounting, I think, and then was like, maybe I'll stick with what
cool.
my dad's
and now
built.
Her son's doing it as well. Cool.
And her daughter runs all the marketing
stuff, right?
side of it.
Yeah.
And I think they all live on like the farm or like the seed farm of sorts. Wow. So just like living the dream, truly.
That's cool.
So she was great to have on. And then we had a father and son duo, Matt Duncan and his son Connor.
Yeah, that's amazing. I was on for that.
You were on for that one?
I don't know why, but I was.
Okay. I think you were sitting on the P-Rex during that one.
I was listening. That's what I was doing.
And so Connor is 17 years old. He's a senior in high school, and he is the head groundskeeper for like, I don't even know what the Mahoning Scrappers are. Like,
I think they're single A.
Okay.
For the Guardians.
Okay.
At least they were at one time.
Yep. So he's, going to school and then coming and working on the field, and then he shows up for practice of his own, baseball team. So just hearing that story was really cool, and you could just tell how proud Matt was.
I was thinking, as a parent, how proud he'd be. Like, oh my gosh, I'd probably start bawling if I was Matt.
It was so sweet, and just the way that Connor conducted himself throughout the whole week, and just wanting to be a sponge and get as much information as he could, but also was so professional and respectful and all the wonderful things you
words that we don't understand.
Yes,
professional, respectful.
Truly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh geez, yeah, could never be me. But no, I had a great time meeting them, and then we ended the show day one with some members of the Nielsen Mafia. So I saw Todd Schaefer walking by, and I said, I'm mouthing to him that you're next, and go find somebody to come on with you. So he came back with Eric Harshman. And the two of them sat down. And what was wonderful is like Todd sat next to me, and I asked him like a softball question, and he just took it away, which I don't know if you remember. He was one of our first pioneers in the field.
Yeah.
And he was one of the first that I ever interviewed on camera.
Mhm.
It was like at West Palm, and I brought him out in the hallway.
Yeah.
And he was so nervous.
That's right.
He was like, this is my worst nightmare. Like, I do not want to do this. And now that I've forced him to do it so many times in the last 6 years, he was like,
he's numb to it.
He was a star.
That's awesome.
He totally took it away. So it was great catching up with him. And Eric is a member of the Nielsen Mafia as well. So, we talked wonderful things about Tom, but also where both of their paths have taken them. So definitely tune in for the Rush Hour.
That's a cool format, the Rush Hour.
Yeah, I love that one. Jonathan will have a fun time editing that one. And then we had our Pioneer Party that night.
We did.
So you take that away. You summarize that because I need to take a sip of water.
Summarize the party?
Yeah.
I played bouncer and froze while everyone else was inside, not inside, but in the patio area where there was lots of camaraderie and good conversation. And yes, most importantly, heaters. I hear it was a wonderful event inside there.
Yeah.
But someone's got to be the doorman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we were like really preventing people. Like,
We
I
were.
don't understand why you had to stand out there.
Come on in.
But I joined you for a majority of it.
You did. And we won't talk about how you.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I did go in a few times to warm up because even though we're from Cleveland, once the sun went down, I was like freezing every single night.
It wasn't that cold. It's just I didn't have the appropriate
That was the
attire
problem.
on. My sweatshirt was fine all day, but then it's lower 40s.
Yeah,
it's just not enough.
It was cold.
With just a t-shirt underneath.
And I was just skin and bones by that time of the week because I hadn't eaten.
You hadn't eaten, right?
So tragic.
Woe is me.
I will say one of my worst meals was that night. Like after the show, it was like, a very short window until we had to go to the party. And I went to that pizza place or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have just ordered pizza. But I was like, I'll be disciplined. I'll get a salad. And it was so bad. It's so bad. Did you have a salad?
No, if you recall, I ate so much on the show floor trying to make you upset
hungry.
that I was stuffed, honestly, for the next 24 hours.
Poor you.
I don't think I ate again for 24 hours. Like, no joke.
That's hilarious. Well, until the show opened on Thursday, you were eating like noodles. They had like pastries over there.
Oh, yeah.
You did it again. Like you went for round 2.
I did. That's right. That's when I definitely didn't eat for a long time.
Yep.
Because I stuffed my face there to try to, get your attention.
Yes.
And I didn't eat until I got home the next day at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Because we went out to dinner and you only had drinks. You had 7
Actually,
drinks.
I take that back. It was like by the time I got home, it was like 3:45 Eastern.
Yes.
And I chowed down at home. But
nice.
now that everyone's listening to my eating habit.
Well, no, I know that these are the hard-hitting questions that people
really care about.
Yeah. Like me putting Tyler Morris on the spot, asking when he's going to propose to his fiance.
You asked him that?
You don't remember?
No.
We were talking about hobbies outside of work. And I asked him if ring shopping had become one of his hobbies at all.
Oh, my gosh.
So if you want to know the answer to that one, tune in on February 18th for Tyler's
I will
episode.
say that's so on brand for you to ask someone an uncomfortable question on the spot. Oh,
jeez. But yeah, no, I think by the time I got, so really you took off a lot earlier than me, but I got home around the same time.
what time did you land?
I think we got home at 4:45. Yeah, only an hour
I landed
after you.
3. So
okay. But you didn't get home to home.
I didn't. Yeah, to drive home.
Gotcha. Okay. And then we kicked off show day number 2 with Chrissy Seegers.
Yep.
And again, she was one of our first Groundskeeper Chat.
During COVID, yeah.
And I think I recount the start of, the Groundskeeper Chat. Really, it was just like I was doing the normal thing I typically did, which was call people and ask them about a topic, and I would write a blog post about it.
Yep.
But it was like, I might as well record these since we're doing it over Zoom now. And that's how Groundskeeper Chat was born.
That's right.
And it was said at some point, I don't remember what episode it was, but you said that was my best idea yet.
I don't recall that. I think that was the devil. That wasn't me.
It was an episode where it was like 30 minutes long. You have given me the footage from it, but you have asked if we don't post it because it's literally just 30 minutes of Kelly Lynch kissing my butt.
Yeah. It's
really
your morning affirmation. You can listen to it.
She's just fanning my fire.
She's a big fan of yours.
Yes. It's a mutual fanship. But yeah, so we talked with Chrissy, and then we moved on to our 2025 Pioneers in the Field class member, Mr. Chase Straw.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit about his recent move from A&M to Penn State.
That's right.
And we're definitely going to dive deeper into that story with his Pioneers in the Field profile. And then probably my favorite episode from the week was Better Mental Health with Lisa and Mike.
Yeah.
They're just, I mean, she is just so fun and fascinating to talk to.
I know you really enjoyed that. I do recall that. And I remember there were 4 people being recorded. So I got booted.
So you were booted on that one.
I don't have any tools to help my mental health as a result. So I guess I have to listen to the episode.
Yes. Well, you joined us for Chrissy and Chase, and then you were booted for the rest of the day.
Yes. Really, can I call the Goatleys and just...
You should. You know what?
Walk through this?
That would be great, actually, if we just invited them on again and you and I do a therapy session.
I just lay on a couch and just tell them my biggest fears and disappointments.
Meg's going to just get too big and she's going to leave me in the shadows.
Yeah, that's my biggest fear in life. Yeah.
But no, like if anyone listens to one episode from the, our SFMA recap, I would start with that one. It was just, it's just so interesting to hear her point of view. And then also, Mike is so wonderful in the way he offers up all the ways that he's failed as, a turf professional /husband/father. And she'll, dissect the ways that, we don't have to call out anybody because he just offers it up. It says like, I failed in this way and this way and this way. So I loved that episode.
They talk like balance between being a groundskeeper and the hours and
and just health. Like mental health, making sure that, Tyler Morris was co-hosting on that one as well. And
yeah, I remember.
He is just like a really excellent blueprint for how, he's under a ton of pressure in that position.
Oh,
yeah. And she, just called him out to say like, he's a great blueprint for making sure staying the cool, calm and collected individual that he is.
That's cool that he was there.
Because like on Wednesday night, he was outside and I was telling him like, I was so impressed with how he handled it because somebody came out and they were just like, man, you've got the worst job ever. Like that was how they opened.
Said that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They were like, I would never want your job. Like you've got the worst job. And like, being the person I am, would probably have said something not so nice back. Like,
it doesn't sound like you.
Yeah.
No.
I would not have handled it as eloquently as he did, but he like really, turned that negative into a positive and talked to the person for a long time. Like I would have, either said something or given them a small, simple gesture and
sign language
been on my way. Yeah. So we talked a little bit about that in that episode. And then he stayed on for best practices in field painting with Nick McKenna and Brad Finn. So mere hours before Nick McKenna won his award, we were, we got the exclusive.
Nice.
We had him on before he was an award winner. So
good, because you probably be able to get him on again now he's won an award.
Now it'll be away from us. So
his scheduler is busy.
Yep. So we had Nick and Brad on, and I don't know if we even talked about the best practices in field painting.
You went down a rabbit hole of something else?
Yes, I'm sure.
That happens.
But that was the session that they hosted at SFMA. So we recapped it a little bit, but then as to be expected with the Groundskeeper Chat, it went off the rails.
I kind of like when it goes off the rails.
Yeah. That's our forte here. And then we closed out the show with Max Casper and Mira Emma. And we just did an OG turf origin stories.
I love those.
Yep. We just got both of their turf origin stories. And Mira is with the KC Current, which Kansas City. That's okay. That's what that KC stands for. And
were you just confirming that in your head? Or?
Yes. Okay, yeah. Just confirming it out loud in my.
Because you were looking at me like, what do you want?
You're like, I don't know. And Max was Leah Withrow's assistant. Now he's the head groundskeeper at Reno Aces.
Current the NWSL team, the women's team.
Say it again.
Is the current?
Oh, okay.
The women's soccer team.
Yes, women's soccer team. And when they, I think they wanted to have a female head groundskeeper as well. Like
that's cool.
Very cool women in sports movement. And that was my first time getting to meet her, and it was wonderful to set the foundation for what I'm sure is going to be a flourishing friendship. Because anyone I meet, I make sure that we're friends for life.
Yep,
except you and I.
That's awful. Uh-oh. I got a phone ringing. Sorry.
And speaking of, Foundation for Friends for Life, Jacob just texted me. So we'll see.
Jacob, your summer intern
My
from last
summer
year.
intern who I'm praying comes back. Yes. I would love to have him again.
He's a wonderful asset here.
Yeah. And if I'm going to be approaching a maternity leave, potentially, if the stars align, then it would be great to have Jacob on board.
I apologize. I don't know her name. She's a new coach at the University of Tennessee's women's basketball team. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This story happened in the last week.
Oh, 3 days.
4 days after she had the baby, she's coaching the game. What a baller.
Well, is that supposed to serve as inspiration?
What I'm getting at is, if she can do that, I mean, do you really need to take him? I'm just kidding. Of course, enjoy your time with the new baby. I make jokes. And I'm
currently not pregnant. This isn't a breaking news segment.
Thank you for announcing that. Thank you.
But Jeez. It's always in the works.
Oh my God, Meg, stop.
Why do you always gotta know? But we'll see if I'm at SFMA next year. I mean, I told that to everyone.
You're hoping not to be because you'll be with a new child.
Yes,
Twins. You're hoping for twins, right?
I would love twins because then I could just be done with pregnancies, but get 2 kids out of it. So I would love to have 4 kids, but I would love to only have 3 pregnancies.
You love chaos, don't you?
I do. I really I sent you a picture yesterday of my almost 2-year-old sitting on the countertop, and I had come home from dropping off my other kid to find him on the countertop. No parent in sight. My husband had already gone up to work for the day. And
upstairs. Let's clarify that.
Yeah, he works. We both work from home, so he works upstairs. And he had put the baby in the crib, and he was still sleeping. And yesterday, we found out that he can crawl out of his crib now.
Oh, that was the first time.
That was the first time he had done it.
That's the worst when you learn that.
I know. And then he didn't take a nap yesterday because he just kept crawling out of the crib.
Oh, I remember those days.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. River didn't ever sleep, so we never had that problem. But Noah is typically a pretty good sleeper, so it's an unfortunate development for sure.
It made for a funny picture.
Yes.
But now this is recorded. CPS will be at your house within 30 minutes.
Well, there was a parent still present in the home. He just didn't realize that the child had crawled out of the crib and crawled onto the countertop and was drinking a chocolate milk from... that was left out from the night before.
Oh, gosh. Good thing you're not watching them today.
Oh, so it just got worse and worse.
Your mother-in-law has
And most people would probably freak out on the husband or freak out in general or discipline the child in some way. I took a bunch of photos and was like, you are so cute.
I wonder why he does it. No, I think every parent's had one of those moments. You're like, oh my gosh, I might be the worst parent on earth.
Oh. But that never crossed my mind. No.
For those of us who are stable,
have a humble bone in their body.
No, I've definitely had those moments, but cute for the photo. But hey, kid,
so sweet. And then he had spaghetti last night, and I sent you that photo. You were texting me to say that I did something wrong, but you forgot that I've never done anything wrong in my life, so you had to quickly take it back.
We'll have this conversation offline about never. You made me lose my train of thought there. Wow, that's pretty good.
But so yeah, he had spaghetti, and I sent you that photo as well.
Super cute.
Yeah, cute kid. I agree. 10 out of 10. I did good on that one. Well, we'll see. We still got a few years until the verdict's out on that one.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
And last night, I also, after being told several times by friends, family, to not cut my son's hair because I've done it several times and failed, I did it again because I just couldn't help myself.
You cut his hair?
Yeah, and it completely butchered. It was so bad.
After the picture you sent me?
No. I cut Rivers' hair last night.
Oh, Rivers. Okay.
Yep. So poor buddy had to go to school looking.
You need to get, you ever heard of the Flowbee? It was back in the 90s. It's like a shop vac attached to different clipper plates.
I've seen those on TikTok, but I've never purchased.
They're on TikTok?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I typically will just, go in blind.
Do you use clippers?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not scissoring that stuff.
No, I am scissor.
Oh, you do?
The clippers are what we took him to a barber of some sorts when he was probably too young to be there. And they use the buzzers is what I call them. And he is traumatized.
You tell him to suck it up or what?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Of course not. I'm like, oh, my little angel boy.
Every child needs a little bit of trauma. Come on.
Yeah.
That's how we keep psychologists in business.
Haircut. So
I'm gonna get called after that.
Yeah, we'll see. I think this might be a good time to end it. We're dipping into like potentially putting our foot in our mouth, which I've done the whole episode. But
yeah,
now when you start to do it, it's over. Things are off the rails.
When we make jokes that people won't think it's funny.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we'll see like the drop off like on the episode listening ship.
Groundskeeper Chats has been canceled by society.
All righty. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks. These episodes will start dropping February 6th, and we'll take you all the way through March 20th. And yeah, it was a great year. We'll be back for another.
All right. See ya.